Hey guys, it's Julian Hemmings here. We're doing a video on DDG and Halle Bailey situation. This will be a video that I'm going to be reacting to from the great and the legendary and the controversial Big Ack, King Academics, otherwise known as DJ Academics, or as Erica Badu has pointed out, the new Jerry. Only people who are really into culture will know that joke, but very excited to do this. Very excited to react to it and give you guys my perspective on the situation. Without further ado, let's start.
Officially to family court, and she has filed for sole and legal physical custody of her son Halo. According to People, Halle Bailey requests sole legal and physical custody of her son Halo and asks the court to prevent ex DDG from taking him out of LA. In a recent court filing, uh, Halle Bailey accused her ex and father of her son DDG of abuse. She was granted a restraining order. Now it looked like she's seeking sole legal and physical custody of her son. According to documents obtained by People, she's looking to get sole physical custody. She's also asking the judge to order DDG not be allowed visitation with their son, but
So it's worth noting that in this particular situation, some of the political, social context that I think we're all looking at this through, and it's without a doubt that we're looking at this through a gender and race lens, right? A lot of the time, black men and just men in general believe, and I think there's evidence to prove it, that the system is somewhat against them when it comes to family court. The question that we're having to ask ourselves is like, is this true? Is this what's happening in this situation, or was Haley experiencing something? And what was the judge's reasoning behind this? And let's kind of have a really in depth and complicated conversation surrounding these issues. Nothing too fast, guys. Let's go deep.
supervised visits with the professional companies once a week for 6 hours while Halo's in Los Angeles. Hallie's asking the court to prevent DDG from taking their son outside Los Angeles. In documents, Hallie also requests to order to prevent child abduction, as she claimed DDG has a history of abusing her, taking away or hiding her son from her, and threatening to take their son and hide him, and not cooperating when it comes to co-parenting. Hallie also asked the judge to order DDG to move with to not to move with Halo unless she gives her written permission. Chap, did I tell you this? A lot of times when you have a baby mama, you signed up for a boss. If you want to be a father, you're either going to be a deadbeat, and then they're going to tax you up in goddamn court.
Don't agree. I think that you're not signing up for a boss, but you have a partnership with that person and you have that child. So there is a undeniable relationship. I don't think she's his boss, but that kid is not only his kid; it's their kid. And I think the same applies for Haley as well. That's DDG's son, but that's your son together, no matter what the relationship is.
Court, or you're going to have to acknowledge that's your boss. I've been told y'all this, chat. Listen, I broke down this play long time ago, man. Hallie looks at DDG. She's one of the women who don't look at having a child as a 50-50 partnership and, hey, we needed your egg, we needed your sperm. She looks at it as, that's my child and you're the babysitter. I'm the boss. And if you want to see your kid, you better operate under my rules. I've been telling you.
I mean, I don't know what evidence he has of that, but I mean, let's go deep in this, man. Let's listen. Let's see his perspective. It's worth noting that this case was filed, or this case was done in the California Superior Court on May 2025. The plaintiff here, of course, is Halle Bailey. The defendant is DDG, otherwise known as Daryl Dubois or Dubois Granberry. And let's talk about some. I wrote the procedural history down, so I just want to make sure we get through this really quickly. So, also, this is not legal advice. Okay, I'm a guy studying the bar exam. I'm not your lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just doing this for educational purposes and just giving a perspective. So Bailey filed a petition in California Family Court seeking a declaration of paternity custody determination and a non-disparagement order. So he can't speak against her and put her down. He's not. That's why he's not allowed to really speak right now. Following a breakdown in her relationship with Granberry, citing concerns over online harassment and co-parenting issues. Defendant moved to dismiss the petition, claiming no official acknowledgement of paternity and invoking First Amendment rights over his online commentary. Now, First Amendment, of course, as we all know, is freedom of speech. He's saying that he has a First Amendment right to speak out about what's going on with the situation. to protect himself. The issues here are: can Bailey compel a declaration of paternity and custody in absence of marriage? And can the court limit DDG's online speech about the relationship and child through a non disparagement order? And so, what are the rules that are implicated here? Under California Family Code 7630, a mother may initiate a paternity action to establish legal parentage regardless of marital status. And while the First Amendment protects speech, non disparagement clause may be enforceable in family law proceedings where the child's best interests are at risk. So, the question that you have to ask yourself is like, is DDG speaking out against Halle Bailey? How is he speaking out against Halle Bailey? This is what the judge is considering. Is this hurting the child's interest? And we're gonna keep going forward. I don't need to keep going deeper, but I'll go deeper as we keep talking.
Yeah, this chat. Halle Bailey sees herself as the boss. She has never, in any of these filings, she's not talking about, okay, we'll mutually tell each, because that's all you got to do. Have the courts put it in writing. We'll mutually tell each other when we're going to go A, B, and C. Put that in writing, that if one...
I mean, this is a great concern that I think DJ Academics is bringing out, right? Like, at what point is this, Haley, or Halle, or Halle Bailey? I mean, I think the perception. Let me be clear, because I'm not targeting her. I don't know her. I don't know her thought process. I don't know what she's experienced, and I want to respect her truth. But at what point does this appear to be something where it's like tit for tat, and taking away DDG's rights as a father because of maybe something he said, or relationship not going a particular way? The question I think that everyone's concerned about is the interest of the child. Maybe they're not concerned about it, but I think underneath that, it's like, at what point is this serving the baby known as Halo?
Breaks the rules, but she's not talking about where she could bring the kid. By the way, with this restraining order, she brought the kid to Italy, but she says he can't bring the kid out of Los Angeles. Come on now.
How is that fair, right? That's the question, right? And what did the judge think? And why did the judge think that was fair?
I said a lot of times when you have a baby mama, it's only a matter of time. She thinks she's your boss. DDG been acting up to her in her mind. Trust me, her girlfriend's been in her ear. Damn, you gonna make that nigga embarrass you? I told you, you could have done better. You with this nigga? Yo, shit. You to the point where she's like, she needs to get compliance from him. Compliance is going to teach that nigga that he's not the boss. The boss is Halle.
So the courts are not thinking like that. The courts are not thinking about making sure that DDG knows who's boss. The courts are thinking about the best interest of the child.
And I think this is quite sad. I don't agree with any type of abuse, but we also have to understand, women, if you have blackmail, I call this blackmail. With all due respect, I respect the cycle of domestic violence, or people who are victims of domestic violence. And I know, and shit, we're covering this one with Cassie, how hard it is to leave. But please understand this as I'm saying it out of my mouth. Chat, if you continue to be with the man, or you're still cordial with the man after you claim he was abusive to you, but you held photos and you've held evidence in the tuck, and you only bring it to light once you don't have compliance, that's called extortion. If she had went to the cops after January, she said after January he slammed her face on something, chipped her tooth.
There's no evidence of extortion.
Gave her all type of bruises. If she had went to the cops, I would have said, oh man, this looks bad. Shit, if there's video, let's see it. DDG, what happened, bro? She held this shit for 4 or 5 months. You don't think that's extortion, y'all?
Bookondollar.com.
You're not getting voice on my platform, brother.
First up, we've got shake video masks. You can use different shake.
You don't think at some point, if he wouldn't respect the fact that she's his boss, she was gonna bring this shit out of the woodworks? That's living in hell. That's living in purgatory. A woman who got these joints in the tuck, you're a public figure too. It's not like you work at some 9-to-5 job and who gives a fuck if your girl go post that. This shit could ruin everything you got going on. DDG lost all type of deals. Aiden came on early and said it. So if you ask me, this is almost damn near extortion. It's blackmail. If you fuck up, I'm gonna tell people what you did a couple months ago. Now give her credit. Supposedly she made a report back in March, but there was no follow up from what I see. She filed a restraining order in May, and she's referenced the incident back from January. She has the video or pictures from January. To me, that's extortion. Because let's be clear. If DDG, and I don't know what her request was to him, maybe she said, nigga, stop talking about me online.
I don't think there's any evidence of her extorting him.
Or tell your fan, you better go online and tell your fans that I'm a great mom or you love me. If he had did whatever she wanted, and he sat there and took his L in silence, whether or not she moved on with Brent Fires or whatever the fuck she got going on, if she had done that, would these pictures or would this evidence had come out yesterday? And that's why I say it's extortion. But we overlook this idea of what real extortion is because we're saying the act of abuse is so, abhorrent. But let's be honest. This happened then. You had a chipped tooth. You even came online talking about the chipped tooth. You didn't say, yo, a nigga beat my ass and that's why I got a chipped tooth. You made up a lie about it when the public video, at least from what I saw. You protected him then, but you kept the evidence in the tuck if he ever crossed you or if he ever didn't listen to his true boss you. To me, that's extortion and blackmail.
Okay, so let's address something. So again, this is not legal advice, and do not take this legal advice. Do not move on the basis of what I'm saying. This is just educational. This is a discussion. But it says that according to California law, the child like parentage custody is always given when it's an unmarried couple. The mother is given default judgment. Okay. Now, where you feel on that, whether you think it's anti-man, that's up to you. But I'm just here to give you guys the facts straight up and talk to you guys in an honest and truthful way. Also, DDG, Halo wasn't living with DDG. It appears that Halo's primary caregiver, the person that Halo was living with, was Halle. So the courts are taking this all into consideration. Halo is primarily with his mother. They're not married. So his mother automatically gets favor. So, DDG is fighting an uphill battle here.
I send my prayers to the victims of all true abuse and all people who have been really taken advantage of, whether it's by a man or anybody else. But for the
Yeah, and if she has signs of being physically abused, I'm not saying he's an abuser, but if there are signs and the court is showing that and she has the images that show that, that's all being taken into consideration as to who Halo goes to. It's a very complicated situation. It's very tough to see. Nobody wants to see a black boy not grow up with his father. Nobody wants to see this. But this is what the courts are considering. Whatever your political affiliation is, that's whatever. But this is what's happening.
the people who, let's say they go through a situation and then they forgive the nigga. And they're like, nah, I love you. Or, oh, I'm trying to get back with you. But they keep that in the tuck and they only bring it out when shit don't go their way. That's a different type of evil. That's a different type of evil, Chad.
This guy's language is crazy. I mean, look, people are complicated. People make decisions. He doesn't know the case that well, probably. He doesn't know. I mean, to call this woman evil is kind of crazy. But so the California statute that I want you guys to look up to just make sure that I'm telling the truth is California Family Code 3011, and it outlines factors that the courts must consider when determining the best interest of a child in a child custody case. Number one is health and safety and welfare of the child, history of abuse, contact with those parents, substance abuse, specific custody visitation orders. DDG did not go to court. He was always having discussions with Halle. out of a fear that, this would occur, Halle went directly to courts. This is something for all of us to realize. If you have a child with a woman, go to court. Go to court. Go to court. Excuse me. Oh, wow. It's a loud train. Go. That's an emphasis, man. That's a sign. Go to court. Do not feel like you should be afraid of court. Do not feel like you should be afraid of anything like that. Assert your rights and let the courts decide. Be an active participant in that system so you can address this issue. I know the law is scary, but please go to the courts. It's not legal advice. But as just a person, other person, go get a lawyer, man. Go to court, do your thing like that. Don't wait for something like this to occur. But again, not legal advice. Do whatever you guys feel is right. Just
That's a
educate
different
yourself.
type of evil.
Seriously.
And I seen some people say, yo, act, she ain't protecting them. She just lying now. Whether either or. I'm speaking towards how this info is coming out now. By the way, we got the full docket. And by the way, we're going to get back to the casting thing. It was just on break. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Airbnb paid me
We have to at some point start analyzing, could abuse be used as a weapon at some point? Oh, okay.
If abuse is being used as a weapon, that implies that abuse occurred. Do not hit women. Do not abuse.
Well, you hit, and by the way, there are people saying she hit him, she's put hands on him before, and I guess maybe it was mutual. I don't know. You see, a lot of times I keep telling you, I like staying out of dick and pussy business. Anytime, so here's the thing. Supposedly they've been like, that's what some YouTubers are saying, that there was some violence. They both would, she hit him sometimes. Maybe he would have done some shit. Here's my thing. If they got back together, that's why I always says, anytime, like for example, Boston Richie girlfriend, like got emotional one night. They fought. She went to the cops. I ain't saying a woman shouldn't go to the cops. I ain't saying a man shouldn't go to the cops. But if you get back with that nigga afterwards, how much of a victim are you? If you get back with that person, or you didn't go to the cops and get back with him, and you only bring this shit up when this person don't follow your rules because now you think you have an advantage, I think that's called extortion. So
I think the kid is like 2. They had a year, where they didn't go to court, and they want to do this outside the courts. And so I think, the constant arguing, the constant bickering, sometimes it's not legal advice, but sometimes, man, you got to go to a third party that can control the situation, create peace. And, sometimes the results are not what you want, especially when you don't participate in that particular process, and you get bad results for yourself. Participate in the process, man. Try to create peace, try to work through. This goes for anything in life, not just in law, because I can't give you legal advice, but definitely be active, man. Be active, and sometimes it's okay to trust the system.
sorry. We got the full docket here, and by the way, you could tell she fed this thing to TMZ. Well, it was actually a public filing on the domestic violence. But even then, LA don't have the domestic violence protections. Like, how people have this document? We have the full document here. Some of the stuff that TMZ did not put up. Here we go, Chad. Here we go. It's a long-ass restraining order. She writes a whole bunch of stuff. She says she wrote a statement and a half. By the way, this ain't snitching. This is domestic violence, so we ain't even gonna try. This ain't snitching. I'm Halle Bailey. I got personal knowledge of all the facts I state below, and if I was to be called a witness, I could competently testify to put that nigga DDG in jail. That's what she says. Look, I'm reading it. I'm the petitioner, Halle Bailey. Declare I'm the petitioner. I have personal knowledge. I could competently testify to what the fuck I've written here. I submit this declaration in the request for a domestic violence restraining order. Daryl Dwayne Granberry, aka DDG. We're having a romantic relationship from 2022 to 2024. Our son Halo was born in 2023. Through our relationship and continue to date him, he's continued to become physically, verbally, emotionally, and financially. Ooh, you see? That's one thing they start throwing into the mix now, chat, that financial abuse shit. I am seeking orders to protect myself and our son from his ongoing abuse. He's a professional YouTuber, Twitch blogger, and rapper. Whenever he wishes to cause upset, he starts badmouthing me to his millions of fans. He claims I'm withholding his son or I'm with other men. As a result, I've received threats and hate on social media. He tries to set up drama for his fans. He goes live, ranting about me, alleges I'm keeping Halo from him. This is false. I've requested a set schedule, which he refuses. I'm a public figure as well. As recently as this morning, okay, all right, so let's figure out what happened on the 13th. Daryl was giving an interview in Miami on TikTok, talking about our relationship, flipping the script, claiming he's getting hated on by his fans. To be clear, I do not go on social media discussing our relationship or any of our issues related to our son. Only he does that. He's the one that creates his frenzy with his and his fan bases. And
that's not true. She went online saying that DDG can't take that kid out without permission. I think she did it on Twitter.
He's now going online to talk about it. As I said, chat, if they can't win the public narrative, they give you an allegation. She starts out this request for a restraining order, not by saying he's violent. She says he's winning the public sympathy war. He's going live talking about me. He's making me look bad. The thing is, with men, we suffer in silence. The woman says something about you, you're supposed to take it. She gets supposedly bad. And by the way, most of the stuff ain't even DDG. DDG got a great fan base. Shout out to all the DDG fans. They've been following him for years, some of them for decades. They're invested in DDG's life. They want DDG to be around this kid. They like DDG's kid. A lot of them they're doing it on their own recognizance. Halle, why DDG don't got his kid? DDG ain't sending them. But as soon as she's losing the...
Good point. DDG is not actively targeting Halle Bailey. That's a great point.
The public battle, she now goes to the courts and she gives an allegation. I don't go on social media discussing relationship or any issue, blah, blah. Only he does that. He's the only one that creates this frenzy. This is not child-centered. I've asked him to stop this behavior. He continues. He gets paid for hits, and this creates hits for him. Our relationship ended in 2024 because of Daryl's temper and lack of respect for me. Okay? There's been numerous incidents of physical abuse even before Halo was born. So keep in mind, the incident, I want to make this very crystal clear, chat. Remember I told you, if they can't win the PR public scrutiny battle, they make an allegation. The last straw for her was not him allegedly chipping her tooth, giving her bruises, doing A, B, C, and D. She claims he popped up to her house like a creepy stalker. None of that was the last straw. What's the last straw? He supposedly did an interview on TikTok that caused her hate. What did I tell y'all, chat? I'm not the oracle, but am I telling y'all the truth? The physical abuse wasn't the last straw. The loss of public support was the last straw. She says on the 13th, he did an interview. And now she's going to go back from the interview and then going to detail things that you should say, oh, wow, this is 10 times worse. But look, since we broke up, we've had ongoing issues related to his last minute demands to see Halo without any schedule. He will not commit to regular visits or schedule for regular visits. He demands Halo when it's convenient for Daryl only. I never know when I'll get Halo back. I keep telling you, she's the boss. I don't know when I'm going to get him back. You know what that means? I don't know when the babysitter is going to return him to the proper owner or where he will be. Based on my discussions with him and his mother, I'm aware that Daryl leaves Halo with his mother most of the visits, and his mother cares for Halo. I want Daryl's family to be close with Halo, but I believe Daryl should be present instead of leaving the kid with the family for days. Daryl called and said he was coming over to get the kid on January 18th. I left him. I let him in the house. He did. I let him in the house and asked him to
I'm
politely
looking at
when he would bring
the
Halo
restraining
back. I
order right
repeatedly
now.
asked him to set a schedule. He didn't want to talk and refused to tell me when he would bring her back. I'll bring him back. The discussion continued as I walked with him outside. So it looked like she was trying to like, yo, say, when are you bringing him back? When are you bringing him back? The discussion continues. I walked with him outside and put Halo in the car seat. I was buckling the baby in the car seat and physically got into the car.
All right, just to add something. So this is what Haley's request was. So I request permission to take Halo with me when I go to work in Italy for 2 months, starting on June 7th, 2025. Instead of leaving him here, I'll be filming a movie. I have family and nanny who will be traveling with me to care for Halo while I am working. I asked the court to order Daryl to cease and desist from posting and or streaming or on any and all platforms about Halo and or me, so he can't speak about his son. Rough, including but not limited to YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter/X. He's a YouTube and Twitch blogger and creates a fan frenzy by making false claims about me. This has caused me to feel afraid and victimized. His fans then threaten me. I am often scared for my life and Halo's safety. Hashtag Free Halo has become a slogan online. Ooh, that's rough. You can keep reading this thing, talking to you guys about this. From this, it appears that she wants child support. Hmm. Okay, her attorney is a guy named Terry Levitch Ross. Hmm. Filed in the county of Los Angeles. It's rough. Oh, wow. Okay, you know what? I think the time may be better spent by me looking at the restraining order than instead of listening to DJ Academics. We'll go a little bit further, but let me just kind of figure this out so I can show you guys the situation.
Car to adjust the car seat. I had left my front door open and not fully dressed, and I wasn't even wearing shoes. Daryl kept saying, "Get out of my car, bitch." Halo was crying. I repeatedly pleaded with him to stop calling me a bitch. I felt nervous that he was going to take Halo with him and was very agitated. I did not feel safe leaving with I did not feel safe leaving a baby with him in this state. Once again, that's the father of your child. She constantly talks about this man like he was competent enough to nut inside of her, but he's definitely not competent enough
Crazy statement, bro.
to take care of his own child.
Crazy statement.
Once again, this is the reason why you might, if this goes to men and women, you need to have kids with your wife. Because the baby mamas of this world look like they look at you as a babysitter. I didn't feel comfortable with him taking my child. Well, is not his child too? She doesn't see that way. You could tell. I also wanted to know when he would bring Halo back. He wouldn't tell me. This argument escalated. Next thing I knew, things got physical between us. We fought each other, wrestled, and tussled. One point, he was pulling my hair. He then slammed my face in the steering wheel, causing my teeth to be chipped. I then stopped fighting because I was in a lot of pain. I wanted to get out of the car with Halo, but now I was
It's really good to I think
stuck. Daryl said, since
I think it's really cool to listen to YouTubers and get their perspective. But I think there comes a point where you just kind of have to read things yourself to see what's going down, right? I think that's always a pretty good idea. So let me download this bad boy, and then let's kind of just go through this, right? Let's just kind of do this. Open a new window. Yeah, let's just kind of read this together. This seems very intense. Again, this is not legal advice. Just looking at the situation, looking at the restraining order, showing you guys what's going down. So let's go to her petition, right? And let's just read it together. Oh, the baby's name is Halo Saint Granberry, HSG. Why do these people need this protection? Okay, this is interesting. What is Haley's reasoning? So Halo is 18 months. Haley claims that Daryl lacks an understanding of how his actions impact Halo. He's often very verbally abusive towards me in front of Halo. On March 7th, 2025, Daryl was verbally and physically abusive towards me while holding Halo while visiting my home. He often demands to see Halo when it suits him, yet leaves Halo with his mother while he travels. He will not communicate with me about a proper schedule for Halo. Oof, it's not good, if that's true. Wow. I asked the judge to order the person into to not do the following things for me, or anyone listed in 8: harass, attack. So person 2 is obviously a DDG, who's Daryl. Harass, attack, strike, threaten, assault, sexually or otherwise hit, follow, stalk, molest, destroy personal property, keep under surveillance, impersonate, block movements among, annoy by phone or other electric means, or disturb the peace. I asked the judge person to stay away from me, so Haley, her home, her job or workplace, her vehicle, and her children's school or childcare. You need to stay 100 yards away. Do you and Percy live together or close to each other? They don't even live close to each other. Ooh. They don't have the same workplace. Man, that's what I just read. This is rough, man. Rough to read. Really sad situation. Really sad. Hey guys, you guys don't come to me for the quick stuff. You come to me for patience, for oh, do you want the person in 2 to have visits, parenting time with the children? No. Detailed to supervise monitored visits, professional, a safe visit. How often and how long should the visits be? Once a week for 6 hours. Reasons: I'm afraid of child abduction. Um, he has a history, so it's not violent, threatened custody. It's not strong ties. No, has a history of abusing me. Give examples for your answer. Threatened to take our son without my permission and has tried to do so. Man, this is rough. Let's see what this says over here. Okay, so if he leaves, he has to give the child's travel schedule, copies of round trip airplane tickets, addresses and telephone numbers where the child can be reached, an open airline ticket for me in case the child has not returned. Hmm. Okay, let's go through her declaration. DDG academic system. I mean, that was just ridiculous what he was saying. I am the petitioner in this case. I have personal knowledge of the facts I state below, and if I were called to witness, I could competently testify to what I have written in this declaration. Exhibits referenced below are true and correct copies of the identified document and are incorporated by reference at the place indicated by the exhibit letter. I submit the declaration in support of my request for domestic violence restraining order. Daryl, in a romantic relationship for about 2 years, 2022 and 2024. Our son Halo was born December 22, 2023. Throughout our relationship and continuing to date, Daryl has been and continues to be physically, verbally, emotionally, and financially abusive towards me. So it's important to say, guys, that there are always two sides to a story. So if I'm showing this, I'm not trying to attack DDG or anyone. This is just, kind of what I'm doing to show people what this is and to bring more clarity to the situation. Daryl is a professional YouTuber and Twitch blogger. And whenever he wishes to be cause upset, he starts bad mouthing me to his several millions of fans. He claims I am withholding our son and that I am with other men. As a result, I then receive threats to and hate on social media. He seems to try to set up drama for his fans. He goes live ranting about me and alleges that I am keeping Halo from him. This is false. I have requested a set schedule, which he refuses. I am a public figure and am subject to public scrutiny and hate. As recently this morning, May 13, 2025, Daryl was giving an interview in Miami on TikTok talking about our son, flipping the script, claiming he is getting hated on by his fans. To be clear, I do not go on social media discussing our relationship or any of the issues related to our son. When he does that, he's the one who creates frenzy with his fans and my fan bases. He's not going online to continue to talk about it, furthering the frenzy. This is not child-centered. I've asked him to stop this behavior. He continues, he gets paid for hits, and this creates hits for him. So he's just doing this for himself, is what she's saying, his own money. Our relationship ended in 2024 because Daryl's temper and lack of respect towards me. There has been numerous instances of physical abuse even before Halo was born. He often calls me profanities including bitch. He often called me evil. Since we broke up, we have had ongoing issues related to Daryl's last minute demands to see Halo without any schedule. He will not commit to any regular visits or schedule for visits. He demands Halo when it's convenient for Daryl only. I never know when I will get Halo back or where he will be. Based on my discussion with him and his mother, I am aware that Daryl leaves Halo with his mother most of the times, and his mother cares for Halo. I want Daryl's family to be close with Halo, but I believe Daryl should be present instead of simply leaving Halo with his family for days. On January 18th, Daryl called and said he was coming over to get Halo. He was 13 months at the time. I let him into my house. So you just use 1 year and 1 month. Okay. I let him into my house and asked him politely when he would bring Halo back. I have repeatedly asked Daryl to please set a schedule. He did not want to talk and refused to tell me when he would bring Halo back. The discussion continued as I walked with him outside to assist to put Halo into the car seat. I was buckling the baby into the car seat and physically got to the back seat to adjust the car seat. I had left my front door open and was not even fully dressed. I was not even wearing shoes. Daryl kept repeating, "Get out of my car, bitch." Halo was crying. I repeatedly pleaded with him to stop calling me a bitch. I felt very nervous that he was taking Halo with him. I was very agitated. I did not feel safe leaving a baby with him in the state. I also wanted to know when he would bring Halo back. He would not tell me. The argument then escalated. The next thing I knew, things got physical between us. We fought each other, wrestling and tussling. At one point, Daryl was pulling my hair. He then slammed my face on the steering wheel, causing my tooth to get chipped. I then stopped fighting back as I was in a lot of pain. I wanted to get out of the car with Halo, but was now stuck. Daryl then said, since I would not leave the baby in the car, he would take me with them. He drove quickly towards his house. When we arrived at his house, I was crying and told his family what happened. I begged his family, who were there, to help me figure out a schedule with him. They said, just leave and let Halo go. I left hysterical. I bruised over my arm and a chipped tooth. Oof. On March 3rd, 2025, Daryl had Halo in his custody. I was to pick up Halo at 3 p.m. that day instead of set approximately 12 p.m. while I was away from my home. Daryl came to my home and entered my home without my permission or knowledge. He does not have a key to my home. I will bring a copy of the ring camera footage from that day that shows Daryl uh, entering my sliding door on the side of my house and going upstairs. After he entered my home, Daryl then went to my bedroom, sent me pictures of my empty bed. He sent me a threatening text. Now I know what you've been on, lol, which I understood to be accusing me of having sex with another man. Mm. I mean, you can kind of see why the judge is sort of making these decisions from this. This left me feeling very unsafe and nervous that he would enter my home again when I was there. And on March 7th, 2025, so it's May 2022, 2025 right now. So this was a couple months ago. Halo and I were both sick with RSV at my home. Daryl stopped by to see Halo. I already warned about my sickness. I made it clear to him that I did not want Halo leaving my home because he was sick. When I told Daryl that, he became very angry with me. He raised his voice and became verbally abusive toward me, hurling bad names at me. He then saw that the ring camera was recording. He unplugged the ring camera, opened the side door, and threw the ring camera out of my home. I went outside to retrieve the ring camera. Ooh, rough. He then locked me out of my house. I went around the back and came into the house through another entrance. I plugged the camera back in and called my family member to help. With her on the phone line, I repeatedly asked Daryl to leave. I told him that he was being rude and I was too sick to deal with him. He would not leave. When he realized that my family member was on the phone, he became enraged. Around this time, I noticed that he also saw the ring camera was back on, so he smashed the camera. I have recorded this and will bring the recording to the hearing. Daryl then grabbed my phone and hung up my call with my family member. At some point, while he was distracted, I was able to get Halo back from him. Daryl then ran out of the house with my phone. I followed, begging to please give my phone back. He then got into his car and closed the door on me while I was holding Halo. Daryl then drove off and threw the phone out of the car window and yelled, "Go get it, bitch." As a result of the incident, I filed a police report. Attaching Exhibit 3. This lack of schedule and Daryl's random demands caused me great distress. I am a singer and actress. I am often on set or having to arrange my schedule ahead of time. I must be able to work. People begin threatening me, and this creates fear for me. Oh, it's kind of sad. This is really sad, actually. As always, this caused me great distress. So let me just see this. Every time this begins, I feel scared, anxious, and worry about Halo's safety, as well as my own. I have noticed a pattern of Daryl doing this when I have had events related to my career, although I'm trying to work hard and provide for our son. Likewise, the weekend of Mother's Day, May 9th to 11th, 2025, I left New Jersey with Halo and went on a short vacation with my sister. Daryl again accused me of being with other men and posting about my relationship with other men. See Exhibit 7, true and correct copy of social media post that Daryl began texting me. As always, this caused me great distress. I even texted him hoping he would stop. Daryl, are you not tired of harassing me? You make up a new lie on me every day. I'm in St. Lucia having fun with Shermaine and Chloe and not with any man out here. I wouldn't do that. I have Halo. I told your mom I was going to be with my sister last week. Please let me enjoy my Mother's Day in peace. I hope you are okay and feeling better soon. Oh, man. This is sad. I am contractually committed to be filming a movie out of the country in Italy on June 7th, 2025, for approximately 8 weeks. I have been and remain the only caretaker of Halo throughout his entire life. I do not believe it's in Halo's best interest to be left with Daryl, or more likely his mother, because Daryl leaves town on a weekly basis most weeks, especially for the entire 8 weeks. I am seeking permission to take Halo with me to Italy so I can continue caring for him. I'm contractually bound to be in Italy to film. I have family and a nanny who'll be traveling with me to care for Halo while I'm working. Look, guys, I get it. Like people want to kind of make this a gender thing, and people have frustrations in their own personal lives. I get it, man. But this is really rough, man. I mean, please have empathy. You know, this is terrible. This is like really sad. This is really sad. I don't think anyone should lose their kids. I mean, some people should lose their kids, and I'm sad this is happening between the two couples. But this is so sad. So we're looking at some of her hurt. So right here, these are the bruises. Oh my God, sad. Mm. Oh, that's so sad. This is where she chipped her tooth, I believe, from the steering wheel. You know, I hear these guys. I mean, this is why sometimes you got to get off these YouTube guys, man, because they are so insensitive. You know, they're just making this not BD baby daddy. Oof. You could be Kayla from work, George. I have to go to work. Oof. Damn. I don't know, man. You hear women's stories, man, and you're just like, you don't get the perspective. That's why these things are so important, man. To look at the facts, you know, just to show you, man. Miss Tanya, I'm back end of the month. He misses you too. Hey, that's not too long. LOL. Hi, I just wanted you to know. I will double check with him. He'll back later this week, as we likely talked about before. If he would be in town, would you like to get to the 7th? Otherwise, I could keep him until I will double check. Hi, I forgot to text you. He said that he will wait until you get back to him. Hey, just thinking about y'all. Oh, it's sad, man. You can tell these people. It's human stuff, man. Human stuff. It's real human shit right here. Free Halo. This is the fans. Free Halo, bitch. Oh, God. Let DDG see his son. Let him see his son. This is getting sad. DDG may be an ass, but we know he's a good dad. Oh, man. Ursula, free Halo. That's stupid. When did Halo understand the damage she has done with his childhood? Oh man, bro, that's messed up. I mean, these people don't even know their relationship, right? You're a horrible person for not letting Daryl see Halo while you were partying in New York and then taking him with you to a different country right after. It's been a month since he saw his song. His son, he means. Put your hatred for him aside and become a better person. Ooh. I mean, you guys are getting my real time reactions here, right? Like, but this kind of puts everything into context, right? Like, damn. You know, because you start like since everything's happening on social media, you begin this parasocial relationship where you think, oh, I understand what's going on. You don't get it, you know, and like this lady's probably at her wit's end with the situation. Tough. Hmm. Rough one, guys. Sorry this got so dark. But at the end of the day, this is the truth of the situation, and we must be okay with listening and reading and reviewing. Let's keep going, guys. Next video.